I think when you raise 13 billion of capital, first of all, you're never going to make 25% returns. So you have to go for situations where the amount of money you're managing can make a difference. On the Gecina deal, based on public information, it looks like a very, very risky strategic positioning. You get inside and you see what happens. We went through that from the Canary Wharf take private when we took stakes, and then when you have votes and when you have situations, sometimes as you saw in the Strata deal in another industry where the Qataris, really made a difference because they had a strategic stake. So I think the very large funds, sophisticated, will go, will look at those very large situations. And, the truth is, if you look at those large property companies, they should churn their assets a lot more. And, I'm not saying this is what's going to happen, but Blackstone, when they bought the Samzel company, I think they sold 10 billion of office assets in 18 months when they took control of that company. That would be a very interesting situation to watch. So yeah, I think it's the beginning of something. I think this trust is in the public markets. I should have mentioned that, even though for Gecina it remains to be seen. But the publicly traded companies are, on average, if you take Unibail, who's dominating the index, out of the equation, I think we're all at 20 to 25% discount to NAV. So I don't think the market believes in those NAVs, but.
Just going back to when you raise 13 billion equity, I don't want to comment on whether you make or not the 25%. However, what you will have to do is take macro bets. You can't go nimble and buy just small projects. I think maybe what it says, and that goes back to the logistics sector, just by way of comparison. It's interesting to see that in the U.S., prime logistics trade at 5.5%. Whereas we're talking about 7.5%, 8% here, because it is also an institutional sector. I think what Blackstone probably has put into the equation is that this is probably an overlooked sector. We manage nearly 3 million square meters of logistics around Europe, and our portfolios are doing very, very well in terms of occupation. It's 95% plus, not only in France, but also in Germany and Central and Eastern Europe. And maybe what the, I don't know if it's a macro bet or a yield compression bet. I don't know the quality of the portfolio with a lot of precision, but they probably bought it off a relatively generous risk premium.